A report has come out from the special investigator assigned by the president, that's Jim Obaze, about the activities of the central bank under the former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele. And the report we've gotten here says that Emefiele actually operated 593 bank accounts illegally, the United States, United Kingdom, and China, worth about 5.4 billion euros. Charles, what is your reaction to this? When I saw this news, I said to myself, if for any reason I have to give my opinion on this, let me leave it. Charles, go ahead. You are the analyst. I'll leave you to say something on it. I just don't want to talk because whatever I'm going to say is highly unethical of my profession, so I don't want to say. So you go ahead.
Well, the media is to shape public opinion and when something is really bad. But let's look at it very well. The special investigator has done some jobs, their work, and they've come up with an interim report and they have submitted to
the president.
That's why we are getting
this information. Yeah.
Now, first of all, they said without the approval of the
CBN board.
Fine, the CBN can do investments outside the country, but it has to be approved by the CBN board. Okay? Now, this thing was done, just one man, the governor. Again, it goes to show how our lives have become so we don't know what they call value. Corporate governance. Emefiele was not operating his father's microfinance bank. Even if his father's microfinance bank, there are some code of conduct.
Rules and regulations to follow through
that govern that operations.
Very true.
And now this is the apex bank of a country. And the governor of that bank is exhibiting. Anyway, it's just from the investigator. We need to hear his own side of the story.
But from information that we got, as at the time we were filing this report, journalists have reached out to his lawyer to talk about it, and he hasn't responded as at the time of filing this report.
Yes, the lawyer will not respond because already the government has this man in their custody. I understand he was granted bail, but he could not
300 million naira bail,
you know, and all that. So the lawyer will not respond. He will tell you, you know, these are legal jargons that his client is already having an issue with the federal government and all that. But again, looking at the reports of the special investigator, must give him kudos for that. But I also believe that Emefiele on his own, only Emefiele, one man, can't just. There are other people there who have been involved in
benefited,
this.
exactly.
Who are involved in
exactly.
It, you know?
That was the thought that came to my mind, that the cross of the matter should not just be on Emefiele alone.
Of course, that's true.
I can understand that is the figurehead of the organization.
That's true.
Is the leader of the organization, and the bulk of everything falls under his desk.
Yes,
but then again, he has accomplice.
Of course.
And those accomplice also must be brought to book. We need to know them. Some people help him siphon this money to these different countries and these different accounts.
No, but what I don't really understand is CBN can do those investments. Get the board to approve. If the board is saying, no, we cannot approve this reason, why should he go ahead? Him on his own, he just did it. And I think let that investigation continue. If there are issues, let him face the law.
There's a question that is coming to my mind now, and it's bordering on transparency and accountability.
Of course.
Charles, do you think that this special investigator is only on duty to investigate Emefiele's 8 years or almost years of leadership at the Apex Bank, or it's going to continue into this new administration?
Well, he was given a special investigation work to do. Again, not only for CBN, it's related entities.
NNPCL and the
all that. So depending on what the current government wants Nigerians to know. So for me, I don't think it's just for Emefiele's years in CBN. I don't think that will be the issue. It should be, yes, Emefiele's years, and of course, this new administration is still very young, so I don't expect anything to be done on the current CBN leadership.
But don't
so
you
let's
think,
look at the last 8 years.
Yeah, but don't you think that there needs to be some platforms or some committee of any sorts to check, for the sake of check and balances of the operation of the Apex Bank? Because if for any reason, Charles, I repeat, if for any reason
Yes.
the Apex Bank is being affected, the entire economy will be grounded.
I agree with you because they are the government bank, advisor to the government, but that's why they have a CBN board and there is a CBN Act. So there is enough rules and regulations, even law.
Can we have an independent?
It is already independent. You have the CBN Act there. So but the issue we are looking at now is the individuals.
Yes.
The Act is already there, which establishes the CBN and making them independent. However, they need to report to the National Assembly
Yes.
for oversight function.
Yes.
Now, that is where the National Assembly will need to come in and put their searchlight on that Apex bank. You have a board. The board is to oversee everything they are doing. And of course, like you said, who regulates the regulator? You have the National Assembly. You have the Committee on Finance and Banking
But
and whatever.
in a situation where you have corruption eating deep into the system, who is to be spared as a saint to oversee the exact way things should be done?
Well, that's why we have check and balances. You can't say because the courts have given a wrong, or let's say from my own layman opinion, a wrong judgment. Then if you have your cases, you will not take it to the court. No. So when it comes to CBN, who regulates the regulator? That's what we normally say. In this instance now, the board of CBN. Who now regulates or oversee the board of CBN? Of course, it's the National Assembly.
Yeah.
They have oversight function. They should do their work properly. With this check and balances,
We know there is.
I think the excesses of the immediate past CBN governor wouldn't have something like this. If
Needs to be called.
if the House Committee on CBN and all that, they've been doing their oversight function properly.
And nobody actually spoke up. Now this brings to the fore the information we are getting that the approval of the Naira redesign policy
Okay.
was not approved by the president, was an initiative of the former CBN governor approved by the nephew of the president. Could it be that some people are actually running Nigeria and we're not even aware of it?
Well,
But the president, the former president was just the figurehead. I have always believed that, from my own layman understanding, that the chief of staff is the de facto president of any nation.
okay.
Okay,
Because he
so-
knows everything the president is
Yes,
doing and all
and
that.
sometimes he acts in the stead of the president.
Of course, he's a
There's
human
some
being too.
information that does not get to the president that ends at
Ends
the
in
bulk,
table and it just okay.
and
of course, the president will still take responsibility for those actions.
the force.
Yes.
But the question now is, where was the chief of staff when this initiative came up?
Okay.
Where was the chief of staff when the nephew to the president
Okay.
actually approved this kind of policy? Where was the chief of staff when Nigerians were groaning and crying? And the president, the former president then stood his ground and said, the policy stands. If you can
Okay.
recall.
Yes, I recall. That's why I'm telling you that I will not believe this media
Information.
report that I don't want to degrade the writer of that report. Maybe this is a beer parlor report. How can you say it is the nephew of the president?
But if
you
we
know,
are,
and
if we
all
are to
that?
debate on this, Charles, if we are to debate on this, it was so conspicuous that during the 8 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari,
Yes.
it was not in charge of his administration. At many times, critical issues happen in the country,
They
and the
won't
sitting
react.
president said he's not,
He's not
aware.
aware. Okay, yes, you know, everybody has their own leadership style. So that could be his own leadership style.
Would you call that a leadership
You
style?
can't fault him for that.
Would you call that a leadership
It could be his
style?
own personality. That he doesn't really react until maybe his advisors come and tell him and all
Lack
that.
of control,
I agree with that. You know, maybe somebody who
lack
also
of
believes-
leadership capacity.
Blessed, hold on. Maybe he believes that if he has given you a job, then he does not have that time to start harassing you. Go ahead, do the job,
But Charles,
and give him the report.
leadership is all about delegation.
Of course,
And when
you take responsibility at the
when
end
you
of the day.
delegate, you do
Yes.
not relegate.
Of course, you do really.
But
You
the
take
president, the
responsibility.
former president actually relegated. And that is why we saw a lot of mess
Agree
that,
with you.
that,
Yes.
that followed the Ministry of Aviation and multi-billion naira airline that was launched, and nothing has been
Nothing.
said about it up to this moment.
I agree with you. Anyway, I think some reports have come out that the former Minister of Aviation has been, summoned by National Assembly to come and give account. Anyway, let's come back to this CBN Naira redesign policy and all that. Even if you say it was the president's relation, whatever, that is not the issue. It has gotten to a stage where we need to redesign our Naira. it is done maybe within 5, 8, 10 years. So the CBN did not act in error by saying it is due for the naira to be redesigned. And there are good, genuine reasons why you need to read for security purpose.